In this show, we're at Northampton Trampoline Gymnastics Academy, where some of the highest flying British trampoline gymnasts hone their skills.
My day-to-day is 9:30 till 5:30, and then other staff take over in the evenings now from 4 onwards, and we close at 9. So it's literally a 9-on-9 week, and 9 till 5:30 on Saturdays.
It was actually my mum that started the trampoline club. Since I was 2 or something, all I can remember is being around the trampoline club at various sports centres around the region. So I've pretty much been there and thereabouts for my whole life.
I did artistic gym for 5 years, so that was like my main priority, if you like, at 5 years old, I don't know. But then I moved to trampolining when I thought I'd perhaps be a little bit too big for gym, and I just got a bit more of a buzz for trampoline than I did for gym.
I mean, I wasn't very good when I started, so it was a bit of a challenge. It's quite different, isn't it? You know, it's not like the bog standard what everyone else does, so I imagine that's why I carried it on, but I loved it enough to stick around. I've been here like 15 years.
We pride ourselves on a whole club of sport approach, you know, like where we're actually catering for everyone and everyone's important. We have a full disability programme, which is 4 days a week, with 2 disability coaches, and the recreational programme, again, we have about 600 members coming through, and you know, but generally it's just like maximising the space and trying to make the most of it, to provide the best service possible to all the members.
So this new centre is fantastic. What did it mean to you personally to be able to train somewhere like this?
Success breeds success all the time, and to have a group of people around you, whether you're in on your own or whether you're with a group of people in an environment like this, it's just awesome to train in.
Sounds funny, but it's probably the heating. The old place we were in was a little bit cold, and which doesn't help your muscles and stuff like that.
Whilst the arena was great because we were set up all the time, it was freezing cold, so we were often operating in like 10 to 13 degrees, and you know, it wasn't doing the gymnasts any good. And then British Gymnastics came along with a community club development grant supported by Louise Roberts and Felicity Colborne, who was the East Midlands Development Officer, and it was just like a dream come true.
So now we've got this new facility here at Northampton. I noticed particularly there's the analysis and things. How much has that benefited your career, do you think?
Ross, who does our analysis, is brilliant. He's one of the only people that's doing that in the country. It's vital.
Anything that they film is recorded onto the computers. You can compare that to the things that they're doing in competition, and compare it with things internationally from other footage. This is from one of Jamie's set routines, and what we've taken here is just an angle of her shape in a pipe back somersault. We can freeze the frame at that point, and then using the tools in Dartfish, I can measure the angle of her trunk to her legs.
For me, as I quite like my sciencey side of things and getting all my stats. So pretty much after every go, I'm in there finding out my heights, finding out my exit times, and getting all the stats.
And now moving on to kind of your elite coaching side, what gymnasts have you coached in the past or coached now that have really stood out?
Well, obviously the ones that I'm coaching now, they're on the world-class programme, so Jamie Moore, James Higgins, Steve Walsh and Yasmin Gums. They're the ones really that have taken the sport to a new level, because they're all training twice a day, 5 or 6 days a week. There's just so many members that I've coached that have been enjoyable, probably to name everyone really.
Kind of who've been your memorable teammates, and what are the gymnasts here now like?
Well, Gums is in the background just shouting away. I've trained with quite a lot of people, but to be fair, there's a few that are still around. Obviously, have been around for years as well. There's like Steve Walsh and James Higgins, who I've trained with for a long time, and then like the arrival of Yaz as well, which has been great because it's another girl and she's really pushing me to be better all the time. I mean, her TOEFL level's really good, and so it's always good to have a group of people that you get on well with.
How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep the training sessions kind of interesting for them?
I think the motivation's a big question, really. You know, at the age, Jamie's 30 this year, and James has been around, since he was very, very young. And really, I don't need to keep them motivated because they're genuinely motivated themselves. They're still striving to achieve world status. You know, there's still quite a big gap in world terms from Great Britain to the podium. And each day they just get motivated, and whilst it's hard work, you know, with any elite sport, you know, we're just trying to bridge that gap, and that's given us the motivation to do the work and keep them involved.
I don't know how I keep motivated. I just love it all the time anyway. So I train every day, well, not 5 days a week, twice a day. So yeah.
I wouldn't go to any other place, and I wouldn't be coached by any other person. Like, you know, it's a partnership, and it's kind of in the blood. So this is where I belong. This feels like home. And Traci's is a brilliant coach, and it's where I want to stay.
Without her, I wouldn't be where I was, like where I am now. It's been a partnership right throughout, and I mean, she's got me to where I am.
And what about the club in general? What are your kind of aims for this club over the next few years?
To get as many people in the British team as possible. You know, last year we had 50% of the senior team, which was good. A couple of the juniors are coming through as well. But, you know, like, we're just hoping that if we move the bar, then, you know, Great Britain as a whole will start moving in the right direction to close that gap.
What are your goals in your career?
Well, for this year, we've got the World Championships in St Petersburg, obviously. I'm just working hard towards that, really. Obviously, the ultimate goal is a peak performance at Olympic Games, 2012, 2016. I'd like to say 2020, but I think I'll be a bit too old.
I think anyone around sort of the top tier at the moment wants to go to 2012, don't they? And like, absolutely no different. But I mean, that's not the end for me. I want to go along for a while after that. So I think in the short term now, I suppose 2012, but in the long term, sort of another Olympics after that maybe, and sort of see how long I can stay around for.
I said no. I didn't. You know, I didn't want to carry on. But then obviously, I don't know, you come in every day and you do wonder what you're doing here every day, but then while I still enjoy it and I love what I do and I'm getting better, I don't see myself as like I've sort of stayed stagnant for a while. So while I'm getting better, what's the point in giving up while I enjoy what I'm doing? And of course the younger ones motivate me, and I like being centre of attention, so I think that's why I carry on doing it.
I think, you know, it couldn't really be a better time for sport in general, you know, every sport in the whole country. It has brought more excitement across, you know, like we get little 6-year-olds saying I'm going to 2012 and they don't even understand the concept, you know, everyone just thinks that they're going to 2012. So everyone involved at the moment thinks they're going and they could be the one. It is really, really exciting.
Remember, if your club wants to be featured, get in touch through the BGtv website.